Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds. Today, we're talking about building a deck with spending $0.
That's right, it's the Trade Binder deck video.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. We've got a bunch of different videos. They're all based on Commander. If you like the channel and you want to get in touch with us, we actually are, as of right now, opening up the Discord to all fans. So if you want to be in the general chat, go ahead and click the link in the description. Or if you want to be in the special chat, you can become a patron. But other than that, what is a Trade Binder deck, Joe?
Trade Binder decks, it's pretty simple and easy to explain. It's a nickname that we gave to a deck where you build with your collection, and that's it. You do not buy cards, you don't spend money, you go into your collection, you pull out the cards that you think fit in the deck, and you put the deck together, and that is a Trade Binder deck.
Yes, the power level, not as important. Really, it starts with the idea of, I think this deck might be cool. I either want to build it and just play with my friends, have some fun, or I'll test it out, and if I like the core idea of the deck, then later down the line, a couple weeks or a month later, I can buy the cards I need to make it perfect.
Yeah, that's something about a Trade Binder deck. They often become decks that you upgrade in the future. They start off as Trade Binder decks and then evolve from there to just totally like playable real decks after that.
Yeah. The one thing you do require, that is required for building a Trade Binder deck, is a collection. So you're going to need like a Trade Binder and then a box of bulk commons, uncommons, bulk rares, what have you. But that was a given.
Yeah, this happens after you played Magic for 2-3 years. Almost every Magic player just accumulates cards because what happens is you build a standard deck, it rotates out. You build a modern deck, maybe you get sick of it, you get rid of it.
You draft.
You build a Commander deck, and you go, I'm done with this Commander deck, and then your collection just builds cards. It happens with every Magic player. I don't think I've met the Magic player. No, it's a lie. I've met like one or two of the Magic players who just don't have a collection.
They get rid of everything.
But that's few and far between. Most Magic players have a pretty decent collection.
Yes. So we're going to start off this lighthearted little video. We love joking about the Trade Binder deck. We love talking about we joke about some of the cards that become playable once you literally don't care about buying other cards. It's not like we're making fun of anybody. It's just funny.
Yeah, it's
because we both done it, right?
Yeah, what ends up happening is obviously the power level required for a Trade Binder deck is much lower than if you're trying to build a high power deck and going through all the processes you would normally go through. So if you're cutting down on mana curve and you don't want too many of the same effects, so you're just cutting things we'll start with our first Trade Binder staple deck. Actually perfect because it's the kind of card that usually just doesn't make the cut, especially for a me or a BZ deck, and it's Path to Exile. I think the card is totally reasonable, totally good, but everybody saves them. Everyone wanted them for Modern. Tons of players have them sitting around. You see them in decks that are built with just stuff I have all the time.
Oh, they're just rotting away in Trade Binders. Your playset of Path to Exiles that you will use eventually, but you're not using right now. I've seen it so many times. Oh, are those Path to Exiles for trade? No, I want to keep my playset. And they always say it I know I'm never going to do anything with them. I have to keep my playset.
Oh, yeah. And there's so many staples of the Trade Binder deck. There's way more than what we're going to list here because there's so many common cards that, when you look into your binder, stick out, basically, and just look like, wow, that'd be good in Commander, even if it wouldn't necessarily be good in Commander.
But it is good from your collection's perspective. Next is Counterspell. Not the best Counterspell. I mean, you've got Force of Will, Pact of Negation, Mana Drain, the free one from Ikoria, even Arcane Denial, sometimes he's play over this. But Counterspell, hey, everyone opened a pack of the 7 Masters sets that came out in a row. Iconic Masters. I don't even know if it was in that. Masters 25, it was in. Mm-hmm. Just a bunch of random crap. And it was a common in all of those, and I'm sure you have one.
Yeah, they're laying around everywhere. It makes me sad that this card's not under $1. It's actually $1.50, $2.
Yeah, it's not even. We've tried to include it in the Budget Bombs episodes because it's totally great for a budget, but it's not even a budget card.
It's not even. It is a budget card. It's not a budget bomb.
Yeah, it's not a budget bomb.
Next, Vampire Nighthawk, a card that for every format it's ever been in has just not quite been good enough.
Not quite enough, and I love. This is what makes me laugh so much because this is the go-to card I think of for Trade Binder decks, and it's all right, I wanted to do this. Now I have to try to win games with Vampire Nighthawk, and this is funny to think about. It's literally just a lifelink Death Touch flyer.
Yeah, and it just doesn't quite. It's never gonna quite do enough for a Commander deck. But again, you're building out of your collection. Vampire Nighthawk is especially when you start comparing it to all Magic cards ever printed. saying it's good.
It's in the upper 70% or something.
Maybe even higher. I mean, it's really, like, it's crazy because there's a lot of bad Magic cards. So, like, Vampire Knight is going to stick out of a collection as a very playable card when you're doing the Trade Binder deck.
Yeah, especially I remember when it came out, this is nothing to do with anything other than the history of Vampire Nighthawk, but it was like, whoa, this is an uncommon. This is one of the strongest, like, uncommons we've ever seen. So it's got some chops, just not in the whole big wide world of Commander.
Yeah.
Next is the Hero's Downfall variant. You know it. You didn't like it. You didn't play it in Standard because only Hero's Downfall was good in Standard, and then it got bad every time. But Hero's Downfall, Murderous Rider, Ruinous Path, Never to Return, Vraska's Contempt. Can you think of any more? Just all of those.
Every version of the one black. Just get rid of a Preacher or a Planeswalker.
Right.
And
this might be the best removal spell you have laying around, and if it is, get right in the deck.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having 1 or 2 1/4 removal spells in your deck. So you don't even be scared when it comes to putting one of these in your deck. If you're not spending money, don't be scared to put in a Hero's Downfall because you're not going to regret it when it comes to, oh crap, I need to answer this threat. Sure, it's not efficient. Sure, it's not the best, but hey, I'll take it because I need an answer.
There's something so like estimated value, like EV positive about deciding to build a deck with spending no dollars. We can talk about this at any point in the video, but we'll just throw in a little thing here now. If you're not spending money on the deck and you say, oh man, really wish Swords to Plowshares could go in over this Hero's Downfall. Really wish, Craterhoof Behemoth could go in over this. And it's like, that's $100 that you're just not going to spend because you've ruled it out or you're waiting to test it, that if it gets cut from the deck, the optimal version, you're like, oh, I don't need Craterhoof Behemoth. And you wouldn't realize without 10 games of testing, you're just saving so much money.
Oh, yeah. You can. The Trade Binder decks are gold mines, basically, because you save money if you're going to upgrade the deck because you get to test it before you really have the full version. It helps a lot.
Or forget the full version. I'm playing this. I'm having enough fun. I don't need anything else. What's next?
Next is Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers are everywhere nowadays. You open them all the time. They're always $15 when they're first printed, and they always drop to $5 because they're never good enough for anything.
Yep.
Yeah, as soon as they're not seeing play in a format, they go to $5. And if they're seeing play in like EDH, they're $10.
Yep.
It's like there's like this weird like spot, and if they're seeing play in Modern, they're like $15. It literally is like that.
And if it's both, then you've got a gold mine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they start going up. But a lot of Planeswalkers are just going to dip down, and you're just going to have them sitting in your collection because let's just talk about Zendikar. Nobody's trading for Jace Mirrormage. Who wants that? It just doesn't have a home anywhere. So you're going to have it in your trade binder, and you'll just be like, okay, well, I'm building this cool deck that maybe wants to manipulate the top of my deck. And now Jace fits.
Kicker synergies, scry synergies, loyalty counter, proliferate, whatever your collection ends up promoting, or once you pick your commander. There's just so many of these that I can think of, like the green-white Ajani, any Nahiri ever printed. Gideon Ally of Zendikar is a classic one that a lot of people had, and they couldn't get rid of it because they needed to play it until rotation, and then it rotated, and it was worth nothing.
Yeah, there was no home for that card after Standard. I mean, it's people tried it in Modern, wasn't good enough. Card just...
Yep, plummeted right to poop, but that's good for you guys if you still have one laying around your collection. Lightning Bolt is next. This is the another classic because it's a card everyone has. It's not great, but it might just be good enough that you have to play it.
It's not that you have to play it. It's that it's not you're forced to. It's more like, hey, I'm building this deck only using my stuff, and now this is one of the best cards. Even though it's not good in Commander, it's still better than playing the Shock that I have sitting here.
Right. Yeah. My other option is Shock or 3-mana sorcery, the same effect from
Lightning Bolt or Searing Spear.
Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Strike. Sorry.
Lightning Strike. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Standard bulk rares. Oh my goodness. The perfect example of this in Standard for Zendikar right now is if you open a booster pack, you open he's a 7-mana 6/6 with hexproof and haste, and he's horrible.
Yeah. Kicker 100 enters the battlefield as a 10/10. All right.
Okay. Well, I opened that. Well, now I'm building a kicker deck, and I don't really. Oh well. Look at this. Nobody wanted it. No one ever traded for it. It's worth like 50 cents. Sitting in my trade binder, get in my deck. It's a cool card.
Or I need a top end card. Okay, well, this thing is doesn't die to spot removal. Throw a friggin' Rancor on it and just kill people.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, these like And you're not looking, again, when we look into our trade binders, we're not looking for the very best card. Obviously, if you have a Crater Elf in your trade binder, pick that over it.
Yeah, good for you on that one. That's a sick one.
Yeah, that's a great card to have in your trade binder. But we're not looking for that. We're looking to just standard bulk rares. You're going to see them all the time because nobody wants them. Yeah. So they always end up in your trade binder, and they just how many times have we done pre-releases and built up a nice little thing. We put all the trades in a trade binder. Then 2-3 months later, the bulk rares are just still in there, and no one would ever trade for them. I remember this is a great example. This card actually sees play now in EDH, but it didn't see any play at the time. Was Thalia's Lancers?
Oh yeah,
it was just 20 cents, and we had 3 or 4 just sitting in our binder.
Dime a dozen, classic trade binder card. So if we're metagaming now, if we're metagaming for the trade binder, we really, really, really want to have a Progenitus, because then that can be our commander. 5 colors, all encompassing. We can play any of the stuff that we enjoy or think synergizes.
Yeah. So the reason like BZ just said, you sit down and you're like, I need to build my trade binder deck. You start going through. They did a GP promo. They've printed this in other things. They just got 4 different printings, and it's worth 5 cents. And it's probably, I'll tell you what, the GP promo is unmovable. Nobody wants it, and it's worth 4 cents.
No one has ever wanted that card. Even at the GP, we're like, I guess I'll put it in my binder.
They literally offered to give us a quarter for it at whenever I've tried to sell it. I'm well, I'll keep it for a quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not worth it.
I don't want to have to pay money to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's basically what you're doing. You give me a quarter and I'll take your Progenitus.
No. So it's in my trade binder, and it's the perfect commander.
Yeah, again, because it gives you all 5 colors. Because when you're building a trade binder deck, you don't want to be restricted on those colors. You want to just maybe you have a scattered groves and a breeding pool that you just built up over the years. You're I definitely want to play both of those. Plus I have this awesome Golgari card that would go awesome in it.
Yeah, it just comes together.
Yeah, there's a Boros card I think I want. So it's just all right, I want to play everything. Progenitus, baby, get in my deck.
All right, so we covered the staples. Now we're going to give you some actual tangible tips, because this video can't all be nonsense, of how to actually go about building a trade binder deck. First step, though, quite obvious. You're going to want to take out your whole collection and just take the time, maybe an hour, sift through it, and then you're going to get this 1 to 200 cards. That's going to be now what you go through. Save yourself a ton of time. Don't go through the whole collection multiple times. Go through it, find everything you might ever need, get it in a stack.
Yeah, simple. I mean, yeah, get every card that you might possibly want, and then just 200, 300, doesn't matter. If you think you want to make your deck, pull it out. And know what you're going to accidentally do, because I've done this a ton of times, you're going to pull out doubles, because you don't realize that you have 2 heroes downfalls, and you're going to have 1 up here and 1 down here in your pile.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So you're going to end up with a big pile, and now you got to cut it down to 100 cards counting the lands, so 65, 67 spells.
Yep, yeah. You got to cut it down, make sure you have an actual functioning deck, because you actually do have to make an EDH deck out of this. You can't just throw a pile of 4,000 cards together and go, let's play EDH, because they're going to be that's not EDH. That's not even
there's a deck size.
That's nothing.
Yeah, make sure you synergize with your commander as much as you possibly can. Mm-hmm. Take cards that are slightly worse that synergize over the do nothing, staples. Like if your commander cares about dealing 4 damage, play the worst version of Lightning Bolt instead to get the 4 damage synergy.
Yeah, exactly. And 3 things really quick here that you're just going to want to remember for sure, no matter what deck you're building. You want to try and get some ramp in there. If you have any ramp, if you have talismans, if you have mind stones, you have anything. If you're in green, you know all the green ramp spells. There's tons of them. Make sure you get some ramp. Card draw. You might want to play, I'm talking about just get your precognitive something. What is that card?
Perception? Oh, that card's not even that bad.
Get precognitive possession. Get that kind of card into your deck, because you're going to need card draw. If you're not getting cards moving in a deck, you're going to struggle in Commander. That's just something, and you need removal. If you can't answer anything, you're just going to lose to everything.
Yeah, and you will have removal in your chaff piles, of course. There's tons of it. It's generally worse and 1 for 1, but there's still some gems you're going to find bulk, like Heliod's Intervention. That's still amazing.
Oh yeah, and that card's super cheap. Last thing is, if you're in more than 1 color, this is 2, 3, 4 colors, make sure you get the dual lands. And we're not talking about shocks, we're not talking about fetches, we're talking about guild gates.
Every dual land you possess needs to go into these decks to an extent, right? If you have fetch and shocks and duels and buddies and cycling lands, then you're good and you don't have to worry about anything. But everything goes. You need to cast your spells, especially if you're going to play 5 colors. Literally everything. You have to cast your spells. That's the most important thing ever.
Yeah, exactly. And, well, that's our video about the trade binder, and special shout outs to all of our patrons. We love you all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. You guys are the poopy babies.
Poopy babies?
Poopy babies, and you make this channel go. If you want to become a poopy baby, you can head over to patreon.com and join the poopy babies, and you will then, in our Discord, get access to tons of awesome content.
Yeah, we chat in the voice chat all the time.
Oh yeah, I'm literally in voice chat. I think it's
every day.
I think it's literally daily.
Absolutely, I'm in there every once in a while. Usually, I'm working on back end YouTube stuff.
Yeah, that's why it's usually, and also because Discord is now open to everybody.
Yes.
So we said that in the beginning, but I want to reiterate it here. Click on the link in the description. Join our Discord. If you're a fan of the Nitpicking Nerds, you can talk to us, talk with our fans. We're talking about decks, we're talking about things. Another cool thing for patrons, this is a quick mention, deck building challenge, super cool for the patrons.
It's back on.
There are prizes. It's pretty awesome.
What happened is now we have enough core like fans and people who actually love our stuff that we can distribute roles and have everybody kind of work together in like a machine on the Discord. So now we can manage everything and we can let everybody who wants to come in, it is free to now join our Discord.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that. And another thing, if you want to support us, you can use our TCG player link in the description below. It's an affiliate link, so if you take that link and you go to the website and you buy anything, you will be supporting the Nitpicking Nerds directly without spending any extra money.
Yes, since we're doing so many things here at the end, you can buy merch in the description. Mm-hmm. That's obvious. If you want that, cool. It'll be better than what it looks like now because we fixed the image. Also, Joe streams 10 a.m. weekdays Eastern Standard Time on Twitch.
Yes, a lot of Zendy drafts.
A lot of Zendikar drafts.
And if you become a regular watcher, right now I used to do Zendikar drafts until I die. Now I just pick up one of my viewers and I put them. Zendikar,
and you draft until they die.
Zendikar draft until Moen dies, for example.
Yeah, right. All right. So the tidbits. We've both built a trade binder deck in the past, so we'll just go over those real quick.
Yeah, my trade binder deck was my very first commander deck. It was Maelstrom Under, and it wasn't very good, but I just all the extra cards I had accumulated from playing for a year or two, I was like, all right, let's see where I can get here, and I just ended up with this Maelstrom Under deck. Favorite card in it? Not close. Stolen Goods.
That definitely a highlight. My deck was also Teamer. I think it was partners. It was Thrasios and Tana because she made Saplings. I wanted to make a Warp World Great Aurora deck. That's just kind of what I wanted to do. So I grabbed all my jank. There was definitely too many Planeswalkers in that deck. I threw Field of Dead because I had one, and it was just a lot of fun. And that eventually, that one we talked about like totally saved me a ton of money. I had a list of cards that I could buy if I wanted to upgrade the deck. I never needed it. I had a ton of fun playing with the deck every time, and then now the deck got tore apart, so I would have wasted that money.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily wasted, because then we'd have an awesome collection for our next trade binder.
See, no, I looking back, I'm looking at the list, and I would have felt bad if I spent that money.
I mean, you would a Broodmother Dragon. Who needs that?
Especially since it went down recently. It's not worth the $20 it was back then.
Yeah. Totally
glad I went with the trade binder deck. Yeah. No shame in a trade binder deck. I respect the hell out of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace out, Tribe Scout.